Leader, third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. A letter sent yesterday from the Surrey Teachers Association, BC's largest school district, talks about severe overcrowding in classrooms and reads, and I'll quote, "We are not safe. Our daily levels of stress are almost unbearable. Every day we continue to put ourselves, our loved ones, and communities at risk. It is dangerous and unfair to be expected to continue in this way without appropriate measures to ensure our safety. We are not safe." And yet, from government, what teachers hear is, "Don't worry, you should feel safe." Teachers deserve to feel respected. Teachers deserve to feel safe, and they deserve to feel heard by their employer, the government. School communities aren't even afforded clear and consistent information about what is unfolding around them. My questions for you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Minister of Education. The most extensive and up-to-date database about COVID cases in schools is being managed by parents through the BC School COVID Tracker on Facebook, which over 40,000 people turn to for information. Will this government begin providing school communities with comprehensive, clear, and timely data about exposures in BC schools, as is done in other provinces?
Minister of Education.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. I know that we all share concern for what is happening across our school system. Of course, I've seen the letter from the Surrey Teachers Association, and I think there's no question that what's happening for folks and the anxiety reflects the fact that we're in the middle of an unprecedented public health crisis. We have, in fact, been listening to teachers. We've been working with teachers, with support staff, with principals, superintendents, school trustees, parents, all throughout the summer to develop the safety plans that are now in place in our school districts. We continue that work with all of our education partners, including our rights holders. And we have been, our districts have been very responsive to issues as they've arisen on the local terrain. And for example, in Surrey, we've seen the Fraser Health Authority introduce a new notification system to try to be more responsive. And acting under the direction of the Provincial Health Officer, we have seen the development of a rapid response team so that health authorities can work more closely and be more responsive with school districts when there are changes or developments in COVID transition in the communities that affect schools. And we'll continue to work with our partners in that regard.
Leader of third party on supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the Minister's response and a recognition that there's always work to do to do better in the moment that we're in. We are in this global pandemic. It is impacting everybody. What we are hearing, and I think what the public is seeing, and I know that I expect government is also seeing, is there's still a significant number of teachers who feel that their anxiety levels and their worry and their stress are having health and mental health impacts. It only takes a quick perusal of Twitter or Facebook to see teachers talking about, and I saw one this morning, breaking down into tears at 8:15 in the morning. And this is a significant impact to people's well-being and health. The Tracker's administrator, Kathy Marlis, said on the Mike Smith show yesterday, it's been a rough few days. You can see the progression happening over the last couple of weeks, and as Dr. Henry points out, school transmissions often reflect community transmissions. Both have been rising. But it's been a big peak in the last 2 days where we recorded over 50 schools each day, a lot of messages to sift through, a lot of really concerned parents and families. Exposure notices are becoming more and more complicated and confusing. My question again, through you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Minister of Education. From Kathy's database, we can see that over 1,500 COVID school exposure notices have been sent out in BC since September, with a significant spike in the last few days. With a growing number of exposure notices, can we expect to see government take additional steps to ensure that teachers and parents can feel more confident in their classrooms?
Minister of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and again, thank you to the member for the question. And I want to acknowledge that I think the work that's being done on the front lines of our education system is nothing short of extraordinary. And the fact that we have 90% of kids who return to the classroom in September, that 80% of those are actually in a seat in a classroom, the fact that we are seeing a good adherence to kids coming to school, showing up at school, is a real testament to the work that everybody is doing across the sector to keep kids in school and to do our utmost to keep them safe. And again, I appreciate the anxiety that is out there. We've invested so far just this fall over $150 million to fund additional teachers, additional counselors, additional custodians, more educational assistants, to invest in the PPE to support the safety plans that have been developed. Obviously, we're watching the numbers very closely. We've had some recent changes to the notification system, particularly in Fraser Health, and we're looking at the impact of how that new notification system is landing. And we're going to be working with our partners. And in fact, our provincial steering committee is meeting this afternoon, and I'm going to be on that call with all of our partners, where we will discuss issues such as this: how are these kinds of processes working, and where do we need to be making adjustments and improvements? And we'll continue to be responsive to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.